Peanut butter is high fat, high calorie, hyper palatable, and a binge trigger for most people, and so you should get rid of it. All right, let's listen to this.
This is not a health food. This is full of polyunsaturated fats and honestly other seed oils a lot of the time. Like, you can get a better brand, you can get one in a glass bottle that, you know, is organic peanuts and whatnot. But even if you were just eating straight peanuts, nuts are just not healthy. Polyunsaturated fats create inflammation in your body, which creates oxidative stress and all sorts of other issues.
Okay, this is complete nonsense, so time to score.
Peanut butter is not healthy. I agree with him. I'm sorry, but peanut butter isn't healthy. Now remember, he's holding up a can of Jif peanut butter, just regular peanut butter that most people are eating. Now, he says that peanuts are not healthy. Now, I'm not going to go that far. I do believe there's benefits to eating peanuts, there's healthy fats and so on, but peanut butter, even though it comes from peanuts, it's not good. And there's several reasons for that. Now, Dr. Izzy has a great channel. He's very much science-based. But in this case, I don't care about the studies. The studies can say whatever they want. It's healthy. Eaten in moderation. It can lower inflammation. It can do this. It can do that. It's wonderful. Problem is, that's right, you watching this right now are not eating it in moderation. None of you are having 1 tablespoon a day. Perhaps you're watching this and saying, no, I am. Well, if you're at your ideal body weight, for men, perhaps 15%, for women, 25%, then keep going. You're perhaps amongst the 1% of the population that's eating peanut butter and is actually healthy. And for you, keep going. That's wonderful. Peanut butter is healthy with this caveat. Can you control it? Is it a trigger food? And are you active enough to consume a high calorie dense food, aka peanut butter, and not overconsume it, which contributes to obesity? Any food that causes you or contributes to being overweight and or obese is not healthy. By definition, I don't care how healthy it is. If all the studies in the world point to the fact that this food is healthy, it does this, it does that, it's amazing, oh my God. If the reason you're fat is because you're eating those foods, it's not healthy. It isn't just peanut butter. There's lots of examples. Orange juice, apple juice, but that comes from an orange, it comes from an apple. Yeah, oranges and apples are healthy, but juices coming from those are not. All you're doing is liquefying it and making it easy to overconsume calories. And what's in the fruit? A lot of sugar. And so by drinking hundreds of calories of orange juice, apple juice, and consuming that peanut butter, perhaps on bread, and maybe having a bowl of granola cereal, it isn't good. Are any of these foods bad for you? No. I would never tell somebody who's healthy, who does triathlons, who exercises, who does 150 minutes of cardio a week, while looking good, feeling good. I wouldn't say don't consume orange or apple juice. I wouldn't say stop eating granola, and I wouldn't tell them to stop eating peanut butter. But any person who's obese, that means every single person watching this right now, if you're obese, you need to cut back on the peanut butter, the apple juice, the orange juice, as well as the granola. And the list, hey, I could make it much longer than this, but for the purpose of this video, we're talking about peanut butter.
Not only did he crap on peanut butter, but he said that peanuts and nuts as a whole food are unhealthy and create inflammation. That's completely stupid because nuts are very nutrient dense. They contain unsaturated fats, fiber, protein, and polyphenols that protect cells against inflammation and oxidative stress. We literally have meta-analyses of 40 randomized control trials in humans, which found that tree nuts or peanuts had a favorable effect on insulin resistance and fasting insulin. This meta-analysis of 11 controlled studies found that peanuts reduce triglycerides and improve blood lipids. And actually, we have controlled trials that specifically assess the effect of peanuts on inflammatory markers and oxidative stress. The exact claims that he made in the video, which show that peanuts do not cause inflammation or oxidative stress. And ironically, evidence on all kinds of nuts show that they could slightly reduce inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein. So his claim that nuts are not healthy and create inflammation is objectively incorrect. Lastly, he wants to demonize peanut butter, even those with minimal ingredients and low added sugar, which is ridiculous. Yes, they are calorie dense, and like with all fats, you want to keep an eye on your total caloric intake. But we also have 6-month control trials like this one, which show that regular peanut and peanut butter consumption may enhance memory function and stress response.
We can't just cherry pick the data that we want. We have a study that says that peanuts and peanut butter helps with your memory. But what about with obesity? That's what we're talking about. And so in his rebuttal, it almost exclusively talked about the nuts, saying nuts are healthy. The research proves it's healthy. But peanut butter, here's the difference. When you take a peanut and you blend it up, you grind it up and you make it smooth. It makes it really easy to consume. When you consume peanut butter, it goes right down the throat and it just feels so good. It's kind of like chocolate milk. Chocolate milk, the whole glass, every gulp, it just feels immaculate. Now, when you're consuming nuts, you got to crunch it. And a lot of big, hard pieces, they go down. And did you know that your body doesn't consume approximately 30% of those calories? If you were to eat 1,000 calories of nuts, your body is only going to use about 700. 300 of those calories, well, guess what? You essentially just poop it out. Your body can't break it all down. And so the calories in the nuts, although very, very high, in comparison to peanut butter, you absorb much fewer of them. And so remember, it's calories in, calories out. If you poop out a lot of those calories, your body isn't consuming them, and so you're actually consuming less. I know it goes against the grain of thinking, but if you eat a food with 1,000 calories and 300 of those just don't get absorbed, you just poop them out, then do they actually count as calories? And these nuts, isn't that Mr. Beast brand of chocolate bars? Probably not the most healthy thing you consume. I certainly think that peanut butter and nuts are better than a chocolate bar, but nuts are better than peanut butter. Do you get it? How do you get peanut butter? You get it from nuts. And what's the difference between peanut butter and butter? They're both butters. How many of you out there, raise your hand, think that butters are healthy? Is something that you should put on? Hey, butter. It's loaded in calories. It makes it very easy to consume. And essentially, it's going to make it even harder for you to say no to eating more. And so if you're amongst the perhaps 90 to 95% of people out there that consume peanut butter and you have a hard time saying no, perhaps you've binged, you said, I'll eat 1 spoon, and all of a sudden, half the jar is gone. Or you're set out to eat 1 or 2 tablespoons a day, which is about 1 to 200 calories. And did you know that the average person is eating approximately 3 to 5, even though they're planning to have 1 or 2? And so what you think is a 1 or 200 calorie snack ends up being 3 to 500 calories, which is tremendous. If you only consume 100 extra calories per day, you're going to add about 1 pound of fat per month, about 10 pounds of fat per year. That 1 extra tablespoon of peanut butter, if it's consumed in excess, you're going to get about 10 pounds of fat in a year. That is a lot. And so if you are actually eating peanut butter for the health reasons, for the healthy fats and so on, why not swap from peanut butter to nuts? Does that not make more sense? And I'm not talking about the salted nuts and so on, salted, chocolate covered. You're going to make it highly palatable and make it more tasty than last time, and you're going to keep eating them in excess. Any food that you can't eat in moderation, that you cannot control, it's not a healthy food for you. Say it with me. A food can be healthy, but not healthy for you at the same time. I wrote on his wall saying I disagreed with peanut butter being healthy. And so, of course, so many people in the comments section, they want to put you down. They want to insult you. They want to make fun of you. But this is a very good question, a very good comment, because I actually thought of this as I was debating this with my brother editor, Steve, who's on Izzy's side, Dr. Izzy. And so you could see, just because he's my brother, he doesn't think the same thing. He believes that peanut butter is healthy, that people should just consume it in moderation. I said, yes, I think that you're right. The problem is they can't consume it in moderation. And so by default, the peanut butter, it isn't healthy because people can't control themselves around it. Steroids are fine though, very nutritious, very beefy. How about roids? Healthy? Oh look, Greg's spouting more nonsense again. I literally discussed this. I said, for example, is testosterone healthy? My answer is no. But aren't you on testosterone? Yes, I'm on doctor-prescribed HRT testosterone from my doctor because I abused steroids for years. Abused testosterone. I did not have the ability to use testosterone at a doctor-prescribed level, at a healthy amount. For people, for humans, a doctor-prescribed dose is, for example, my 140 milligrams a week. That's what I'm prescribed, and that's what I've been doing for 6 years. I'm not using more. I read all the comments all the time thinking, no way, he's bullshitting us. I don't believe it. Hey, I'm just being honest. I'm open and transparent, and if you don't believe me, you don't believe me. But in my past, I was using far greater doses than this, perhaps 10 times more steroids than I'm using right now. Because I couldn't control myself with the testosterone, it wasn't healthy. And so testosterone for me, it's not healthy. Think of it. I abused testosterone for 10 years, abusive levels, and now I'm on prescribed HRT for the rest of my life. And so how can I say testosterone is healthy? Now, for some people, it's healthy. Hey, if you were born with testosterone deficiencies, your body doesn't produce testosterone, and the doctor prescribes you medication, testosterone, and you need it, then of course it's healthy. Healthy for you, but for me, it was not. I clearly abused it for 10 years. And so think of testosterone for me being like peanut butter for you. You can't control yourself around peanut butter. I couldn't control myself around testosterone. Testosterone, although technically healthy, it's not healthy for me, and so it's not healthy. Peanut butter, technically healthy on paper, healthy for me. I can have it as much as I want, but I'm racing bikes. I just raced the friggin' race. Look, have a heart rate monitor on its own. And so clearly I can consume it, but perhaps you cannot. And so depending on the person, the food is either healthy or it is not. And so if you're watching this video and you want to lose weight, peanut butter, it's not healthy. Juice, it's not healthy. Granola, it's not healthy. Remember, if you're interested in getting testosterone or in clomiphene, Viagra, Cialis, or perhaps you're obese, you can't lose weight, you need a GLP, for example, Ozempic or terzipatide. Doctors will prescribe you these medications from pharmaceutical sources. Remember, it's not from some lab somewhere. It's pharmaceutical prescription medications at approximately half the price of Merrick Health. And so if you're interested, click the link in the description. I'm literally a part owner. Code Greg for 10% off. Now, terzipatide and Ozempic, they have negative side effects, but my own opinion, remember, I'm not a doctor, is that if you're morbidly obese, I'd rather be on a medication that has side effects than be morbidly obese. Guess what? There's guaranteed negative side effects of being morbidly obese. And so I'd rather trade off and have you lose some weight for the chance that you're going to have some diarrhea, upset stomach, and certain other problems. Peanut butter is not healthy in the real world. And how you consume peanuts, it actually matters. If you're eating the actual peanut as is without added salt, in comparison to if it's blended up and additives are added, for example, sodium, and it's made smooth, as in the Jiffy peanut butter, it completely changes it. And so although it comes from a healthy source, the final result, it isn't still healthy. The number one predictor of disease is, in fact, body fat. If you have higher levels of body fat, you have higher predictive levels of disease. And so if peanut butter is a contributing factor to causing you to become obese, that is causing you to get a host of other diseases. And so how can we label the food that's causing you to be obese as being healthy if it's causing all of these problems? And so in a vacuum, sure, peanut butter is healthy for certain people that exercise, that are fit, that eat it in moderation. To the 1%ers of the world that can do this. But for everybody else, real world examples, not in a study, the real world, where I've coached thousands of these individuals, I'm telling you unequivocally that your life will be better without peanut butter. Sorry, the truth hurts, telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You know that saying, I bet you can't just eat one? It's an advertisement for chips. You eat one chip and you don't stop. The same applies to peanut butter. I bet you can't have just one spoon. For almost everyone, that holds true. And so if the food itself is healthy yet addictive, but it's only healthy in moderation, how can it be healthy? Yeah, peanut butter, it decreases inflammation. Do you know what increases inflammation? Being obese. Let's compare peanut butter, Jiffy peanut butter, to salmon. How many people out there say that salmon is their trigger food? I mean, they're both healthy, they're both good for you. And so if you're a bodybuilding coach and you're adding in peanut butter into people's diets, which is almost everyone, I look at these diets and I'm thinking, what is wrong with these coaches? Well, they need the peanut butter. No, they don't. Now, instead of the peanut butter, you're having salmon. How many people are overeating salmon? Oh, I turked up. I started eating salmon out of the fridge at 10 o'clock, and before I knew it, 8 pieces were gone. Never happened. And don't get me started on peanut butter being a protein alternative. When I was growing up and I was in high school, I even knew it back then. I was arguing with the dietitians. Oh, but peanut butter's meat and alternatives. I'm like, you think that consuming peanut butter is an alternative to eating meat? Really? Oh, how much protein is in that can of tuna? 32 grams? How much peanut butter do I need to consume to get 32 grams of protein? Half the friggin' jar. I'm not doing it. The amount of calories you need to eat in order to get 32 grams of protein, it's astronomical. And so peanut butter is butter. It's not a protein food, it's a fat. If you compare peanut butter, it's more comparable to butter than it is to any protein I can think of. Peanut butter is high fat, high calorie, hyper palatable, and a binge trigger for most people, and so you should get rid of it. But what about natural peanut butter? That's so much better. It's natural. There's no additives. It's still hyper palatable. It's still smooth. It still really goes down really well in the throat. It's still bad. And here's the thing. Oh, now that you know it's natural, you're going to eat that much more because, man, it's really healthy. You know, with the Jif peanut butter, I probably should be careful, but it's natural peanut butter and everyone is saying it's healthy. And so give me some more. It's not healthy because you are going to overconsume it. Now, if I haven't convinced you as of yet, do you realize that if you love peanut butter, that this book, it contains multiple recipes with 4 times the protein and 4 times less calories. Did you see that? I flipped it up. 4 times more protein. You get to eat 4 times more of it. And so rather than 1 tablespoon, you have 4. You eat as much peanut butter as you want. I'm talking about you can have a friggin' bowl of this stuff. Peanut butter. I have vegan versions. I have normal versions. I have all of them. It's amazing. And in comparison to peanut butter, it's at least an 8 out of 10. And so guys, peanut butter. It's literally the hack. When I show this to my friends, you know, people that are on diets, they don't eat health food and so on, I took out the peanut butter, I put it on the rice cakes with the low-calorie jam, and I said, eat this. And this is just as good as any kind of chocolate bar, any kind of dessert. This is heaven loaded in protein. And so if you're eating peanut butter, regular peanut butter, instead of peanut butter, which has 4 times less calories, 4 times more protein, what is even wrong with you? You deserve to be fat. I mean, what is wrong? You can literally go and type it up. I have a video describing exactly how to get the recipe. It's on my YouTube channel. And so you don't even need to buy my cookbook, which of course you can get if you use code Greg for 15% off. Why do you think I'm the expert on weight loss? The Anabolic Cookbook 3.1 and so on has sold perhaps more copies than any anabolic cookbook in the world. World famous for putting low calorie, high protein, high fiber recipes on the map. Is that not how you started watching Coach Greg? And so, yeah, I got to give you the drama. That's what you want. But I still know how to diet. Remember, I'm 50 years of age, racing bikes, working out 2 days a week. And of course, I'm consuming Turk Platinum. I've put on muscle in the last 5 years. And the beauty of it is you don't believe that it's possible. There's no way that Coach Greg from the age of 45 to 50 put on muscle. But yet, in the flesh, here I've done it. And you don't believe that I did it on the doses that I'm doing. You believe that I'm on tren or that I'm on perhaps higher doses of test. Maybe I'm on 200 milligrams, that I've been lying. But yet, I'm 100% telling you the truth. This is what I'm taking. I'm taking 3 pills of Turk Platinum. I'm using the GO2 Max. And I'm using my supplements. If you're interested in the supplements, or perhaps you just want the Seco bars, the s'mores one is the best one. 230 calories, 20 grams of protein. Code Seco, it gets it 50% off. It's only $20. I mean, how cheap is that really? And so if you're interested in any of the supplements in the cookbook, code Greg, 15% off. And remember, I'm always going to give it to you straight. Peanut butter, it's not healthy. I understand that if you quote studies, you're going to find a study to say that, no, Coach Greg, you're wrong. You're an idiot. You're a moron. And so you cannot believe me and continue to be a fat piece of shit. Or you could say, you know what? That Coach Greg, he makes some sense. Maybe I'm going to go easy on the peanut butter. Maybe I'm going to get rid of that peanut butter. Maybe I'll have peanuts instead. Maybe I won't have that orange juice. I'll drink Diet Pop or water instead. Granola and other cereals, yeah, probably not the best idea. I'm going to have more fruits and vegetables, and I'm going to lift weights twice a week like he suggests and do a minimum of 150 minutes of Zone 2 cardio a week. I'm going to do what Coach Greg says, and that is to train harder than last time. I'm not going to go by studies to say, keep 3 reps in reserve, don't push yourself. Just continue on, love your body. Yeah, love your body enough to give it the attention it deserves and to get to your ideal physique. That doesn't mean to be perfect. I'm not saying you need to look like Chris Bumstead or even a Coach Greg. But can you not get halfway to your dream physique? If you're 50 pounds overweight, can you lose half? Can you lose 25? That's enough. I'm not saying you need to be perfect, but you can be better than you are. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you want more videos like this. Of course, give it a like, add a comment. Don't forget to watch any of those 2 bloops, the cookbooks, the training books, coaching plans by me and my team. And if you want to get enclomiphene, testosterone, Ozempic, the list goes on and on, be sure to click the link and get it from Algo RX, pharmaceutical medications prescribed by your doctor, no gatekeeping. And until next time, I am out.